Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 104. The Big Four, the 104. The Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And we thank each and every one of you for coming back and listening and joining in this conversation. It's a compelling conversation. It's a story of love. It's a story of...
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord.
Once upon a time, there was a couple.
And what happened? Before they were a couple.
Before they were a couple.
So once upon a time...
There was heathenhood. I'm not going to go there again.
Please don't. Anyway.
Hey, I just want to thank all of you for coming back once again. For those of you that are new to the Married into Crazy podcast, welcome. You have just joined the #1 podcast for couples that married into crazy. What?
We are the prototype.
We are the prototype, though we believe that there are many other prototypes. How many of you out there, let me see a show of hands. Everybody, unless you're riding a motorcycle. If you're driving, 10 and 2, keep one on 10 or keep it on the 2. But by a show of hands, show me how many of you believe that you married into crazy.
You did marry into crazy.
I did marry into crazy. See, I'm the only one that raised my hand.
So I'm compassionate, I'm real, I'm accountable, I'm zealous, and I am yielding.
She is not yielding. She's crass.
I'm married into crazy.
She's crass.
Not compassionate.
She's just crass. She's crass.
I'm not yielding?
Not at all.
Whatever.
No, so...
I'm crass and you're crazy.
Well, once again, welcome. We are bringing this podcast to you from in California, but it's going all over the world, of course. We've got a lot of listeners across the globe, and we do appreciate each and every one of you. And I do want to make an announcement that we've been talking about it for the last 10 months or so. We have a wonderful, I wish I could do a drum roll. I had a sound machine box. Don't do that because it's like,
sorry.
Makes everything vibrate. But anyway, our household has gotten smaller.
Oh, I was like, what have we been talking about for 10 months?
Been talking about how this house has had, at any given moment during COVID, during the pandemic, we might have had 10 people in this house. No. Between the grandchildren.
And then there were 4.
The kids, and then we're back down to 4, just like that. We're down to 4.
Yeah. I love it.
It's pretty cool because on one hand, we're very, 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 very thankful that we've been blessed to be able to open our doors to our children and our children's girlfriends and their children and and so forth. But it's one of those things where, to whom much is given, much is required. And not saying that we have much, but I am saying that we've been blessed to be a throughput for God's blessings. And I'm very thankful for that.
So I'm thankful because I now don't have to worry about how I walk around the house.
Hey man, I can get back. I can now iron my work clothes in my drawers.
Somewhere. I have to go put a robe on and to run to the iron or whatever and go to get a towel, or I can walk around the way that I want to.
Okay, look, y'all, that may sound petty. That's not petty.
That's not petty.
That's not petty.
Not when you're used to it, and then you're like, dagnabbit, somebody else lives here.
Right. And you got to walk right past their room, too?
Yeah.
And here's the other part.
It wasn't their room.
Here in California, it's been a heat wave. You know what it's like to have to get up in the morning when you're already like hot, and then you got to put on a heavy old robe just so you can iron some clothes? There were times where I just wanted to be like, I'm walking out there. I'm going to look like Tarzan up in here, walking around.
That's like funny. Yeah, no, it may sound trivial, but it is a thing in this household. I promise you. I'm super, 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 super happy about that.
To be free.
Give us iron.
Right? So, no, it's really good. So, that's where we're at right now. And we want to thank each and every one of you. And so let me get this out of the way.
Thanks for indulging us and listening to us.
Right? So there's a way that you can communicate with us as well. And you can do that by joining our text community. Mm-hmm. And the text community, you can actually reach us at 918-351-2799. And again, Snix is dying to jump in.
Because you didn't even say it right. 918-351-2799. That's 918-351-2799.
So for any of you that are still awake, if she didn't put you to sleep with that.
That was mean.
No, I'm just saying that's where you can actually text us. We send out little tidbits throughout the day, throughout the week, a variety of times. It might be a meme. It might be something special. Always something a little different than what you get traditionally through our social media. Something a little special just for our Iron Tribe community that participates in our text community. So there's that. And then we're going to ask everyone that's listening to us on Apple Podcasts to make sure you go and leave a review. Put 5 on it, right? We mean tell 5 friends about the Married into Crazy podcast, as well as
give us a 5-star rating.
I say any rating would be good. I'm thankful for anything that you
5-star.
If you take
specific.
The time, she is specific. But if you take the time to just go there, just give us what you believe we've earned or we deserve, and go back and listen to some of the other ones in the catalog. The last thing we're going to do is, it is about to be a new month. As a matter of fact, when you hear this, it will be September.
Wow, it's September.
It is September.
That's crazy,
right? It's flown.
Yeah.
It's flown. And we're still in COVID season since March 15th. So that is crazy. At least, well, we were one of the first ones hit out here in California. And so, we led the nation in like kind of shutting things down.
I was about to say, we weren't the first ones hit.
Not the first ones hit, but we're the first ones to shut down. And so
San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's looking at the calendar, trying to add it all up.
I'm sorry, Washington too. So go ahead, sorry.
And so the reason why I say all that is because it's a new month, so there's going to be a new opportunity for a live workshop at the end of the month. So you have an opportunity to have like an intimate session, if you will, where it's a smaller number, anywhere from 1 to about 25 couples will participate in our Married into Crazy communication workshop. It's not just for married people. It's for premarital. It's for those individuals that are singles that are looking to discover better tools, better resources, better mechanisms, if you will, for communicating. And we go into a variety of things. But you can go to our website, marriedintocrazy.com, and go ahead and register. On there, you're going to see a free webinar. The free webinar is exactly what it sounds like. It's free, but we also give away a free resource that's there. It's kind of a bonus. And then you'll also have the opportunity to sign up for the live kind of person-to-person, if you will, via Zoom workshop, where Snooks are going to go through the meaning of crazy, a little bit of scripture applied to it as well, and then, of course, some DISC training. We're going to go into DISC. We're going to talk about your superpower, your behavioral traits, and how you can actually understand not just yours, but your significant others, or your child, or your coworkers, however that works for you, depending upon where you're at in life.
Okay, I'm like waiting for you to take a breath.
I know. I was like, I saw you chomping at the bit, so I was trying to talk extra.
Whatever. That's so mean. So the date for that is September 26, 2000. And it's that 10
We're going
a.m.
back in time.
2020. I'm sorry. Did I say 2020? My bad. And the same times, 10 a.m. to approximately 11:30 a.m. And that's Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, give us, go ahead and get on the website and sign up and come join us. We have a great time when we do these workshops.
It is. You never know. You're going to have people from all over the world that are going to be participating. So it's a lot of fun to see couples of the same mindset or individuals of the same mindset that want to become part of a couple. Or that is, it's been a lot of fun. We've had married couples, long-time married couples, newlyweds. We've also had people that are just doing it for the premarital side of it. And it's just been a lot of learning, a lot of...
Boyfriend, girlfriend, some people that are just...
We've had singles. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So there's been some things that have been going on. Oh, you wanted to give a shout out.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out to Mullins Travel. Mullins Travel is... You can find them on Facebook or mullinstravel@gmail.com. And that's spelled MULLENS Travel on Facebook or on Gmail. He and his wife, there is a couple, and they're entrepreneurs. They have this travel agency, and you can go get cruises with them. You can go on different vacations. He's actually also a certified sandals representative, which so happens he's doing our vacation package for us when we go to
beaches,
Jamaica next year for Kiki's graduation. So we have us and some of our family and a couple of friends. We're going out to Jamaica, and
we hope.
I'm speaking positive, and he's actually handling that for us. So just give a shout out again to Mullins Travel on Facebook, certified sandal and beaches representative, and other places too. So give him a call, or not give him a call, but look him up on Facebook or contact him through Gmail and see what he can do for you. So
see, in a service industry like that, when it comes to travel, customer service is everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes a difference. And I'm just going to just tell a brief story before we jump right into this, and that is that when we went on a trip, was it 2 years ago now? We went to
the Bahamas.
We went to the Bahamas on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say that we went on a group, and then somebody else in my family was handling it. I'm not going to put my sister on blast, though I just put her on blast. It
wasn't her that
it
was
wasn't
handling
her.
it. She had found someone that went through their travel agency and stuff. But I asked questions, and he gave me some great information. He told us, certain things, what to do. Okay, so when you get there, do this, or when you blah, 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 that, or what have you. So, he got absolutely nothing out of it. He just
nothing
helping someone out. So.
Because we weren't getting answers from the person that was the true agent. And this guy just helped us out, just like she said, answering questions, was much, he was responsible for really a lot of the success that we found on the trip because he was able to prepare us, even though we were not his clients.
Yeah.
And so because of that, that's how you win clients. And because of that, we said, okay, next trip we take, we're going to book through Mullins Travel, which we did.
Yeah, Dominic and Malik Mullins.
And they're also probably going to handle our 25-year anniversary trip that we plan on taking as well.
Yes.
We hope. So
stop to the Maldives.
That's where she wants to go, to the Maldives. So
I have a story.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me tell you what happened to me today.
Tell me what happened to you today.
So do you remember? Okay.
Wrote a song about it. Want to hear it?
I told you. Remember last night? I was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to get gas." Right?
Yes.
Okay, so I get in the car this morning, and mind you, I have to be at work at 6:00. So I leave. I'm like, if I just go straight, I'll just make it. No biggie. I have enough gas to get there. So my car, it tells you how much gas you have left. It gives you the range. I get to work. Before I get to work, obviously my gas light comes on. So I'm not really tripping because I have enough gas to get to, after I leave work, to get to the Chevron. That's basically on the freeway, and then you get on the freeway and get right back off. So no biggie. I get in my car after work, and the gas things, the mileage said 0. I was like, okay, wait. That's not cool. Gas lights on. I was like, okay, Lord, I know you're going to help me make it to the gas station. So no problem. I get on the freeway and stuff, and I'm like, okay, normally I drive fast, and I'm running my air and everything. And I was like, okay, let me not run the air. Let me roll the windows down. Oh no, but that creates more drag, so I better not do that. So I'm sitting in my hot car, and no air on, the window's not open. I don't know if that's even an urban myth or whatever.
Because it does. It causes you to run. If you run the air conditioning, it will use up a little bit more.
So I wasn't just shiny for no reason. So I get off, and I'm like, yes, nobody's at the gas station too. Cool. I get in there. Mind you, it still says 0. I get inside. I get there. Why are there little notes on all the little pumps that said we have ran out of gas? I said, oh, wow. Lord. I was like, wait, what? We ran out of gas? I was like, oh my gosh. So I stop, and so I'm like, now I need to look for another gas station. So I look for another gas station, the closest one. I know that there's a Shell, but it's further out from this other gas station. I didn't even pay attention to it, what kind of gas station it was. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me just get back on the freeway because it said another mile or so. I'm praying the whole time. So I get off, and I'm like, I don't see no gas station over here. And I'm going the way that it's telling me to go. And it's a gas company, like a what is that? Like solar
like a refinery
or
or
something
something.
like that,
okay.
or something with syngas or something.
Got you.
And I was like,
Well, that's like
I'm
propane.
out in the middle of nowhere. Lovey is not even near me. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I just pulled over and I was like, okay, where do I get gas? And there's big trucks, they're driving by and stuff. And I'm praying the whole time, okay, Lord, I know you got me. I know you got me. And then I was like, okay, I know the Shell is like, I got to get back on the freeway and go down another different way to get to the Shell. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm going to run out of gas. I got scared for a minute. But I was like, nope, I'm going to make it. So I get on the freeway and I'm just praying the whole time. I'm like, all I say is, okay, Jesus, okay, Jesus, okay, Jesus.
Well, this wasn't a case of Jesus take the wheel. It was like, Jesus, can you pump my gas?
I was like, Lord, I'm running on fumes. So then I turned, 120 curved into 5, and it said that it's like another mile up. And all I kept thinking was like, okay, well, if I go, it was almost like going downhill a little bit, but it wasn't really downhill. But I'm like, okay, so I could at least coast if anything was to happen, But I got there, and I was able to get gas. Then when I get there, though, my card, it wouldn't read the thing. I said, you got to be kidding me. So it wouldn't be, I had to go inside and, pay inside and stuff. But that was kind of scary a little bit. I never had that happen to me before.
2 things.
I know. I already said that I forgot to get the gas the night before.
No. I'm not going to go there. That would be 3 things. I'm going to give you 2. No, I'm just thinking, first off, what kind of phone do you have?
What do you mean, what kind of phone?
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone.
And
the iPhone told me when to get where the gas was.
So, but you're like trying to find some gas and
No. Because what I was doing was I knew that there was gas, but when I got off for Chevron, I was going to have to go clear on the other side to get back on 5.
Did you ask Siri to find the closest gas station?
Yeah. Well, I did, because when I looked up, I said, didn't I say gas station?
Okay.
And it was this energy thing down off of Yosemite, whatever. That's what they say. So I was like, oh, wait till I
next time say gasolina. So.
Whatever. Anyway, aren't
Number
you
2,
glad? Okay.
I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're
That's
safe.
all I wanted you to say.
She's driving around in circles at 6 a.m., but I'm glad you're safe.
It wasn't at 6. It was after I got off from work today.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Don't give me a hard time. It was traumatic for me. I was traumatized.
Are we going to talk triggers now?
It was true.
Hey, so here's the thing. I know. But it was kind of, adversity, right? You were going through a little bit of adversity. You were scared. You were nervous.
I didn't have an option. I had to keep going.
I know, but there was adversity there. And it just shows that, it just goes to prove that you never know when adversity is going to rear its head.
Yeah, always be prepared for the unexpected, because I did not expect to see, we don't have no gas. I was like, is this revolution or something? How we not have gas? They ran out of gas.
Hey,
at Chevron. It's
happens.
Not even a little tiny piddly one that you don't know.
It happens. It happens.
Okay.
You just never know. Always be prepared.
You never know. Always. That's exactly what I said. Always be prepared.
And so, I guess what I wanted to kind of get into, I guess that's a decent segue for us to talk about dealing with adversity.
Okay.
Is that because you never know when it's going to rear its head. And one of the, I guess, I don't want to call it a milestone, one of the markers, if you will, for what just transpired was that I'm sure the whole world knows now that Chadwick Boseman passed away after a 4-year battle with cancer, specifically colon cancer. And I'm not going to put you on blast and talk about how you need to go get, your colonoscopy and you haven't done it for the last 2 years. And no matter what I say, you won't go get it done. I'm hoping that maybe just that. Oh, is that my outside voice? That is my outside voice. Ooh, if y'all can see the look I'm getting right now, go to YouTube. See the look she was giving me. Because if I come up missing, I want people to be able to reference that look.
Anyway.
But with Chadwick Boseman passing away, it's one of those things where we just never know when adversity is going to rear its head. It hit me a little differently this year because I was diagnosed with a form of cancer earlier this year, with bladder cancer. But very fortunately for me, I was able to discovered what it was actually stage 0. Yes, it exists. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know there was a stage 0.
That's what you called it?
It is. It's considered stage 0. And it's a, I can't remember the technical names for it now, but it's a stage that it's at the earliest form that can be possibly detected. So we're able to go in and get the tumors out of my bladder and have them removed. So right now I'm cancer-free. And will remain cancer-free through prayer and everything else. But we were able to catch it earlier. So when I heard that Chadwick Boseman had actually passed away as a result of colon cancer, I have a friend, DeAndre, Mr. Phoenix, who's out in the ATL area, and he's a speaker, and he speaks specifically about dealing with colon cancer, dealing with adversity in life, but his perspective is having survived colon cancer and the things that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But it really made me think about Chadwick and what he went through, because everyone was shocked. The entire world was shocked because from the time he was diagnosed with colon cancer, he pumped out a series of movies where, Black Panther, 42.
He did
Marshall, The Five Bloods on Netflix. There's
The Five Bloods.
Marshall. He said Marshall.
I was like, did I not say that?
But in the whole time, and not just that, but all the Avenger movies.
I was about to say maybe you're thinking Marvel because he did
Endgame,
and Infinity Wars.
Infinity Wars. So he did these movies where he had to be physically in shape at the top of his game. And now that we found out that he was having surgeries and going through chemotherapy, and no one knew during that, I just think that there's a lesson in there about what he was going through and the integrity. The measure of a person is not what you do or what you say or how you act when all eyes are on you. It's what you do when nobody's watching. And I think there's some lessons to be learned there within relationships.
Mm-hmm. Let me see, how do I say this? It's not just what you do when no one is watching. It's what you do when people are watching, but it's what you do with the information that you're withholding. Does that make sense? So everyone was watching him, but he had a secret. He withheld that secret. He didn't tell anyone about his struggle. He didn't say anything about what he was going through. And as far as relationships go, a lot of times when we're having struggles in our relationships or what have you, people are watching, we tell everybody about, this person did this to me or he did that to me and that's why I can't and whatever. And there's always, and then he or and then she, and you know what else they did and you know what else. And the struggle is not private, and it's not private, but you're not telling because you're trying to get resolution. You're just telling to be telling. To get, maybe sometimes you want to get the attention or you want to get the other person or whomever it is that you're talking to side with you, to say how bad he was, or yeah, she ain't no good, or those kind of things. It's like he had a secret and he kept it. We don't keep our secrets when it's something that's that affects us a lot of times, like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. It's like we share it, not so much to, like you said, seek resolution or try to find a solution to it. But we seek it because
just to agree with me.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to build a consensus more times than not to get people on your side. I want you to commiserate with me. I want you to pat me on the back and tell me it's going to be all right and I'm good and I want you on my side. It's not always that way.
Or even not so much as pat me on my back and tell me I'm good. Pat me or stand behind me when I cuss at him, or when I cuss him out, or when I say he's this, or when I say she's this, or when I say blah blah blah, and when there's all the drama about, who did this or who did that or why she didn't, and he did this to me and that kind of thing. I just want somebody to tell me I'm right about why I think he's an a-hole, or why I think she's the female dog word, or.
So what I want to do is really dive into, some of the traits that I've noticed, at least from afar, that Chadwick dealt with, or at least the way it was presented. And relate that to relationships. There's what you're talking about, but there's also commitment. There's four things that I really wanted to go over, and that was, commitment, like you were talking about, no complaining, or at least not allowed out to everybody else, but then serving others and then working in your gift. And this whole funny, everybody now is talking about Wakanda forever, and I want to say, what kind of spouse are you? A Wakanda spouse are you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's, what kind of person are you in the relationship? First off, let's measure your commitment. His commitment to his craft, his commitment to what he was doing, took precedence over wanting to get out there and build a consensus and have people kind of like, oh my God, Chadwick, you're going through this. People knew he had a small circle of individuals. And I think it says a lot about your commitment to the job, because a lot of people call in sick to their jobs when they're not sick. Come on. I mean, I'm just speaking the truth. There's a lot of times like, I just don't feel like it today. And they don't go to work. They call off. There's a lot of people that don't feel like putting in the work in their relationship. And they call in sick, so to speak.
They call in sick.
Really, it's like, I know I should do this, but you know what? That's on her.
I'm just calling out.
That's on him. I'm just gonna let him do it. I don't feel like doing that. Well, if he, if he would have done what I told him to do, and Chadwick didn't do that. He didn't. He had every reason in the world. We know now that he could have come up with valid reasons to not do or not follow through on the commitments that he had been making, and yet, for whatever reason, he was committed, and he stuck with it. And I think we need to really examine that for our relationships and be like, you know what? Well, I can't call out on this relationship. I can't say, no, I need a break, because you hear that. Oh, I need a break. You make me feel some kind of way, and I just need some time. And I know that there's going to be times where you need to have, to recharge or what have you. But for those that are saying, I just need a break from this relationship, then you have to question, okay, well, why are you even in that relationship to begin with? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. The part that you touched upon was the no complaining, not reaching out to other people. He didn't complain, at least not aloud, not verbally, not in the world. And he could have had a platform. And regardless of what people say, yes, he could have said something and been a mouthpiece or a spokesperson for colon cancer or what have you. But he chose rather to go visit like St. Jude's Hospital and work with and talk to and encourage and inspire those children that were terminally ill or very, very, very sick, and it could have went either way. And he took time out of his precious days, knowing that he didn't. Obviously, it was terminal, or at least stage 4 that he was dealing with this entire time. And so, I think that the no complaining is huge. Rather than complain, you find a solution. You live in the moment. You do the thing that you're supposed to do, which leads me to serving others. And that's what he was doing. He was serving others by working in his gift. People everybody's telling the story now about how Denzel paid for that trip he took over to Oxford, and he and some other artists from Howard University, and they went over to Felicia Rashad got them the opportunity, said, hey, because that was one of his teachers, and said, I think I know somebody that can help, and so Denzel just took care of him. Somebody took a chance on him. And there's something in his character that said, you know what? I'm never going to let down. I'm going to follow through. And he knew his gift, and he worked in it day after day after day, even when the hours were bleak, and I guarantee that it was, taxing on his body because of chemotherapy and the surgeries that he was going through. And all those traits, I think, at least for me, it caused me to sit there and look at my relationship and say, man, am I giving everything? Am I living in my gift? Am I giving my wife everything that she deserves? Or am I just laying here saying, oh, I don't feel like doing that?
Well, he took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him. And a lot of times, I think in our relationships, we don't take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to us. All opportunities are not big, giant packages. They don't come in with big bowls, or they don't come via email, or the opportunity to travel abroad, or that kind of thing. We have opportunities to make our spouse smile. We have an opportunity to embrace our spouse. we have an opportunity to apologize for something that we did wrong. And a lot of times those are missed opportunities because we're so stuck on what it is that we want to do. I'm focused on me. I don't care about what he said. I'm still mad about her, blah, 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 whatever. And we miss opportunities all the time. We don't, intimacy. We don't sit and we don't chit chat. We don't talk about the opportunity to fix what may be wrong, or I'm stuck in my feelings, and so I'm just going to stay here. And so I'm missing that opportunity to be able to get closer to my spouse or to have a better relationship, because I'm just taking for granted that A, you're going to be here, and B, it doesn't really, well, we got married. That was the end game,
A lot of times we talk about DISC and what we do in the workshops, but in DISC, we help people discover their gifts when it comes to their behavior and how to utilize those behavioral traits and recognize your preference and tendencies and how you approach certain situations. But this ordeal with the passing of Chadwick Boseman really makes me wonder, about my gifts. What gifts do I bring to my marriage? And just as he reveled and worked diligently with his gifts and gave and chose to live on a daily basis, giving back to children, giving his all to his craft, so that way he can inspire millions of children across the world that look like him because they finally have a superhero that looks like them. To live in that, and it just makes me wonder, okay, he found his gift and he lived in it. And from a relationship standpoint, what is your gift? What are you giving to your spouse? What did you bring into this relationship? What are you giving to your fiance? What are you giving to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your soulmate? What are you contributing to that relationship? What is the special thing that they love you for, that they know you for? And whatever that may be, my question is, are you living in that and giving it freely on a daily basis? Mm-hmm. And this isn't just a question for everybody out there, it's a question for me as well. Am I giving her my handsomeness, and my ability to sing at any octave?
That's not a gift.
I think so.
I don't.
But it's one of those things where I think we need to ask ourselves, are we giving everything that we possibly can in our relationships? This one threw me for a loop, with Chadwick's passing.
Yeah, this hurt to me because I didn't expect, well, obviously, when someone dies suddenly, you don't expect it, but I'm just like, that was Black Panther. What do you mean? And then thinking about, like you said earlier, how he did these movies, these high action movies, in between going through chemotherapy and having surgeries and surgery. I mean, for real, in chemo, that's no joke. He was real to so many people. And people, oh, well, it's just a movie or what have you. But it's so funny because he played heroes. He played Thurgood Marshall. He played James Brown. He played Jackie Robinson.
He played icons.
Yeah, and then he became one as the Black Panther, the very first Black superhero. Grossed how much?
A lot.
Top. It's like what, the third highest selling movie or something like that. I don't know, but it's up there. And then proceeded to play in because he did Civil War first.
She's gonna have the anthology of his movies.
No, I'm just doing those 4 because in all of those 4 movies he was fighting, he was active, he was running, he was doing all these, and I'm like, if I had to get chemo, shoot, if I got to get a shot. Because them flu shots, sometimes my arm is sore. I'm like, I can't do nothing else, But one other thing that I feel like you said serving others, but he wasn't selfish,
right?
Because he would have been within his right to say, look, I have cancer, and I can't go do all these different things. He went to Children's Hospital. He could have been saying, I ain't doing that because I got cancer my own self, He spoke about the kids, about seeing them. he took his time and he was going to visit sick children when he himself was sick. They showed an interview where they were talking about, I think it was two kids that I guess they must have both passed away, but they were just trying to hold on until Black Panther came out. I'm not sure if they made it, but I made it to see the movie, but it was so important to them, to see it. They really, really wanted to see it, but they passed away. But he never uttered a word. He just, his focus was on the kids. It wasn't about him. He was totally about giving the people what they wanted. Black Panther was important for so many different reasons, and he was there to make sure. I couldn't imagine a different person playing Black Panther, obviously, because I see he played it. But even when he took the thing off in Civil War, I was like, yes, like I know him. But then I was like, okay, that makes sense.
But what's funny is that all the stuff that we're talking about, I remember the feeling I had when I was in the theater when we saw Black Panther. Of all the movies I've seen in my life, that movie gave me a feeling that I have never felt before in watching a movie, or just ever before, period. It was such a feeling of pride. It was such a feeling of like that's home. It's a fictional place, but it doesn't have to be. Wakanda should be your house. Wakanda should be your home. And the feeling of regalness that he gave everyone, he instilled that feeling of regality, if that's such a thing, but just being regal. And that feeling that he inspired gives us the opportunity as a husband, as a wife, we have the opportunity to become icons to instill that regalness within our homes with each other.
Make me want to come home to Wakanda.
Right? Make it come home to Wakanda. Make each other feel as if you're the king.
Yeah.
You're the queen. You want to, if you've ever seen the movie, she says, don't freeze. You want to have that relationship that when you see your spouse when they come home, you freeze. Because, you're regaling in the beauty of the person that just walked through the door. We joke. If you go back, I don't remember what, I wish I remember the number off the top of my head. We have a podcast, it's an early one called Dino Moments. And that's kind of what we're talking about in Dino Moments, where it's, remember Fred Flintstone when he would come home and he'd open up the door and Dino would be like and would run and tackle him. It was at the beginning of every one of the cartoons. That was just part of the intro. And it's that moment that you have the opportunity to have that Dino moment where when we come home, and we joke about it now because there's times where one of us will pull up in the garage, and if one of us is home and we think about it, we'll like run outside and we'll make that little Dino sound, and like we're running.
At the car.
Yep, meeting at the car. It's so much fun. But I know we sound corny, but you know what? My wife is an icon in this house. Snooks is an icon because the children look forward to her coming home. And it's not about putting us on a pedestal. It's just that the things that we strive for. I can't say that I'm an icon in this house because when I come home, I think people hide. So it's one of those, but it's one of those things that we still strive for it, right? And I'm asking each and every one of you to be that icon in your home. Like Chadwick Boseman was for many of us in being a master of his craft and sharing selflessly of his gift to the world. I'm asking, I'm begging each and every one of you out there that's in a relationship, that's in a marriage, that's in, that you're engaged. If you're going through hard times, if you're having an incredible time, still strive to be that icon to the person that you love, that looks at you. Don't get caught up in the minutiae. Don't let it fall by the wayside. Not a single one of Chadwick Boseman's movies that you've ever seen did he just dial it in. Some actors that have been around for as long as him or longer, or even shorter, they'll get a role just to collect a paycheck. And they'll just be like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, my goodness, I can't believe so-and-so was in this movie. And then you look at how they act, and you're like, oh, okay, they dialed that one in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they phoned it in, is the phrase. He didn't. He gave everything on everything. And I'm asking each and every one of you, and I'm asking Snooks and myself to give our everything in every moment in our relationships.
So another thing about the Black Panther in the movie too, you saw how protective he was of Wakanda and the Wakandan resources. He wasn't for just giving it out to anyone and or anyone finding out about their resources, because he wanted to make sure that they were protected, that they were taken care of. The measure that we should have that type of Wakandan attitude towards our house too. My home should be Wakanda. That means that I should take care of my home. I should feel like I should make sure that my home is protected. I should make sure that my people are protected. I should make sure that my spouse knows that resources are here. I am here. I am available. All the high tech, whatever, everything that we need should be covered. So when we talk about Wakanda, your home can be Wakanda, because it's fictional, but it's not fictional, because Wakandas exist somewhere,
Well, that's a good point. I mean, think about it. If you say it's fictional, but it's not fictional.
I mean, it's fictional as far as, but some of the stuff that they were doing, but there are places that have a whole lot of resources, but there are also homes that type of.
Well, let's say this.
Okay.
When we talk about the way we live our lives, somebody out there right now is like, please, that ain't real. It's fictional to somebody that's hearing our voice right now. And look, a while ago, my brother-in-law, your brother, early in our relationship, I don't say early.
The older one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He had made comments about how, man, that's just not how it is in my house. Like, it's like we were living a fictional life.
He still says that.
But then there's people that we grow up, man, it must be nice because it's not real to you. Mm-hmm. And, somebody that's, 3 doors down from us, they're living their life a certain way. And I don't know, good, bad, indifferent, like our next door neighbors, couple, long time, love. And, got married. They go on walks, they go kayaking, they do these things together, they go riding bikes, they walk the dog. They're living a life that they're both Giants fans. They go and, that's their thing. And they're living their life. But to somebody else that hears about how they live, they think, oh, well, that's just not real. That's not how we do it. So I think we each have the opportunity to create our own kingdom, our own Wakanda in each and every one of our homes. And you can't worry about it being fictional. It's going to be fictional to somebody.
That's true.
But as long as it's your reality, that's all that matters.
That's a good point. Yep.
So make it your reality. Make your own Wakanda in your house. And again, the question I'm asking to you is, Wakanda spouse or loved one are you? Think about that. It's a play on words, but create Wakanda in your home. Have that mentality, that mindset. Become the icon in your home. This gentleman, and he is a gentleman, Chadwick Boseman, became an icon by playing icons because of the intensity, the love he gave to each and every one of those roles, and the way he imparted certain things, the emotion of it, the gravitas, as somebody said last night on the news. Have that gravitas, have that intensity, have that love for being in your relationship.
Yeah. Just the way that he loved, he continued to do the thing that he did love, and if I say I love you, I should continue to show my love to you, not just be like, I love him, he's all right, he's in the room, or whatever. I pay special attention to you, make sure that you're aware of, make sure that you're important to me.
Right.
Make sure that I invest the time. Make sure that I am present. I am forefront. I am here. I'm doing all the things so that hey, I love you. I'm not just saying it's not just lip service. I'm investing the time. I'm making sure Lovey's taken care of.
Yeah, be that icon. So, with that said, I think we're going to get to it's the two for the road.
Shoot.
And so, what we're going to do is this is the time in our podcast where we're going to give you the opportunity to become an icon in your own home. And that is, we're going to actually shake up the affirmations that's in the I Can for couples. We pull out an affirmation, there's 40 of them in each can. And when we look at them, these are the little things that you can do on a daily basis that will give you legendary status with your spouse.
Mm-hmm. Mine says, I can admit when I was wrong.
Okay. Admit when you're wrong. And a lot of times without qualifying it, right? Without saying, look, I was wrong, but no buts. You were just wrong. You know what I mean? And just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine says, I can run the errands.
All right.
What's the heavy sign for? Why are you sighing heavy? Give me some errands. I'm gonna run some errands. I will go buy some feminine products for my daughters. Some feminine products for my wife and my daughters. I will do that.
Funny.
Let me do the errands.
Okay.
But hey, that's it for now. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna close out. But like we always say, at the very end of our podcast, we observe 8 minutes and 46 seconds of silence. That silence is for the social justice that is still needed in this nation. Mm-hmm. For all persons of color, not to be greater than. No one's asking for people to observe somebody to be better than others. Simply asking for equality, for due process, for equal administration of the statutes within the Constitution of the United States for all citizens, which due process is one of them instead of being executed in the streets. So I'm not going to say much more than that, but I will say this, that if you have the opportunity while you're driving, observe these 8 minutes and 46 seconds and reflect upon how you can be a better citizen, how you can show more love in your community, and give some thought to how you can be an icon in your relationship. So with that said, we thank you for listening to the #1 podcast for couples that married into crazy.
Yes.
And until the next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye.